Hi, and welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. I'm Megan of Megan's Creations. Today I'm going to show you about selective coloring, and this is an example of what I mean. This is a layout I did with a freebie kit at my scrapbook art from last year called Captured My Heart. It's no longer available, it's retired, but the template I use is from my Paper Hearts Templates Volume 2. And you'll see that I have the photos mainly black and white, but my daughter's bow in her hair and her dress sleeve is in color. And that was because I really wanted to do that because I felt like it went really well with the colors of the kit and would just be a fun little accent to the photos while still letting the photos shine. And also because I just felt like it would work better to have the black and white, but the colors of her dress and bow did match the kit so well, so I wanted to show that. So let me go back to the original and show you what I did. So here's the original color photos, and you can see I like them, but I just felt like black and white was going to be cuter. And so I have this one photo as well, and I've clipped it to both the photo spots by just duplicating it and then clipping it by doing right click and doing a clipping mask. Right now it's a release clipping mask, and there's the photo, and then create the clipping mask. And so you just duplicate it and clip it to both photos, keeping it in the exact same spot. So what I use is the magic wand tool. Another tool you could use is you could go to select color range, and then you can, it says sampled colors. You could take the dropper and click on a color, and so then it'll select all the colors. You'll notice that it's selecting it from all the different layers too, not just your photo. So if with that you'll get a larger selection than just your photo, and that's okay. You can just do a clipping mask to the photo area, or or just make all those other layers invisible and maybe just work with the photo at the time. So there's one option. You could do that. You can also say, well, I want to pull out all the yellows, and you'll see anywhere that's white on this little preview is going to show you what it's going to pick up with the yellow. And so I just find when I do this, it's going to give me colors all over the photo. And sometimes when I like to do selective recoloring, it's not that I want all the red, I want a certain area of the photo. So that's why I use the magic wand. But this is another option for you to choose, the cyans, which are like the bright blues, or the greens, things like that. So I use the magic tool, and for this I am going to zoom in. So let's zoom in on our photo here. Okay, so I used the magic wand, and I'm just going to select the sorry, not really the magic wand. You'll use the quick selection tool. Magic wand won't really work too well with different colors. So let's use the magic select tool and make sure it's on the plus sign. So we're adding to our selection. And if you ever get something like, oh, I got a little bit of her hair I didn't want to get, you can go back to the minus sign and click on it and subtract that from your selection. So just work slowly. Zooming in is best to make sure you get the areas you want. And you might say, well, there's a little bit of the edge it's not picking up. We could modify that selection, so we can do that next. Here I'm just going to continue. I'm going to get her dress because I like the colors of her dress too. And we can just modify the selection. So again, do minus. I didn't want to get her neck. I wanted to leave her hair and her ears. And that's pretty good. Let's get just this over here. So, just zoom in and work on it. Okay, so once I have my selection, if you feel like maybe it didn't go quite to the edge with the color on everything, we can go to image, select, modify, and I'm going to select modify, expand, and just expand by maybe 1 or 2 pixels. Let's see what 2 does. Okay, and so 2 just kind of spread it out a little bit more to the edges of the colors. And now I'm just going to hit Control C and then Control V. And so I just took that selection that I just did and I copied it and I put it on its own layer. So you'll see there it is on its own layer. And you know, so you could also make the photo invisible and go, I want to clean up around this, you know, and go back around and erase little things, maybe zoom in even more and just make sure you get just the selection you want. And that looks like some of the tree there. So, you know, you can do that. So now that I have that, I have my selection. Now I'm going to go ahead and I like to just duplicate my original before desaturating it, just in case once you desaturate it, you see something that you wanted to maybe get that you didn't with the color. Okay, sorry. I thought I saw something, but I didn't. Okay, that's my other selection, that's why. So I duplicate my photo first, just so I can have the original color, just in case I change my mind about something. And then, of course, go Image, Image, Adjustments, Desaturate. And if you go to Hue Saturation, and then move down the saturation, you could play with this with, you know, making it kind of sepia toned if you don't desaturate it all the way, changing some of the colors, making it more purplish, you know, so you don't have to just do desaturate it and make it all black and white. You can play around with the desaturation with, you know, what kind of hue you want to make it. So I'm going to maybe give it a little bit of color instead of just straight up black and white. Okay, and I've got my color selection on top of my desaturated version, and so I just went ahead and said create clipping mask because I want it all to be in this photo area, and you can see that my selection was outside of my photo area. So create clipping mask, clip it to the photo area, and that's it. And so then you know, if I like that this black and white photo for over here, I can duplicate it again and drag it down to this photo spot, put it in right there. And anytime you duplicate in a series of layers that are all clipped, it's going to unclip the top layers, so you'll have to do the clipping mask again. But there you have it. So there's my layout with just this part in color. It's a really fun technique. I love doing it instead of doing straight up black and white sometimes, just to add a little more interest to the photos and maybe help the photos connect with the kit. If the colors didn't really match the kit, I could have always played with them, beefed them up, changed the saturation, and it's so much easier to control it when it's just that little area and I don't have to worry about the rest of the photo and how it's going to look if I change the colors. So I hope you found that interesting and helpful, and I'll see you next week.